how can we slow down? Many of us feel the pressure to move and act and even think at a pace that is not really natural for us. And a lot of our stress comes from moving too fast through life. And we often miss out on a lot of things because of that. We're basically running through life. So what can you do to slow down? Here are 3 ways I've used and still use anytime I want to slow down. Hi, I'm Miriam. Welcome to EI for Life. Number 1 of my favorites. The favorite, actually, because it's the most simple. It's very, very easy. You just take in one really deep breath. That's it. So I like to breathe in through the nose. If I feel super hectic, I will breathe out through the mouth, but I can also breathe out through the nose. The most effective one is breathing out through the mouth. Really, really slowly in, really slowly out. If you are comfortable doing so, you can also breathe in, hold your breath just for a few seconds, and then breathe out. For me, that's how I do it most of the time, but if you suffer from anxiety, breath holds can actually make it worse and might stress you out, so don't do that. Just breathe in and out. And that's it. That's technique number 1. Technique number 2, slowing down, is put on the brakes. This one is one of my favorites. They're all my favorites. I'm going to say this with every single one, won't I? So they're all my favorites. Let's just leave it at that. So putting on the brakes literally means slowing down whatever I do. And I slow down really slow. So I don't get to a slower pace. I go to slow motion. If I'm walking, I will slow down to a crawl. Not the entire time, just as soon as I notice I'm basically running through my life, running towards the supermarket or running towards the train or whatever, I will just, usually I combine them, I take a deep breath, and I will immediately put on the brakes and I will slow it down to a crawl. If I'm sitting and I'm typing and I notice I get, you know what I mean, this kind of stressed pressure feeling when you feel like you gotta go faster, you gotta go faster. So when I notice I do that, again, I slow down. Hands off, typing really slowly. Yes, really. When I'm in the kitchen and I start to get hectic, I will slow down and cook really slowly. The same with if I notice I'm cleaning, this hardly ever happens, but if I notice I'm getting hectic while I clean, I will slow down every single movement. And that's just it. So put on the brakes, slow it down. As soon as you notice you get hectic, put on the brakes. Go much slower, go into slow motion. Imagine you're in a movie and you're just moving in slow motion. It just takes a few seconds of doing this, and then you can get back to speeding it up gradually to whatever the right pace for you is in that moment. Which brings us to number 3. What is the right pace in that moment? Now, I learned about this from Katie Hendricks. It's called essence pace. Essence pace is the right pace in the moment for you. And you know that you're in the essence pace when you're able to actually be here. If you've noticed, when we rush around, we usually are not present in the now. We're somewhere else with our minds. We're planning the future. We're worrying about the past. We might literally not see our surroundings because I call it, I'm wearing my virtual reality goggles, and there's some sort of, story going on that my mind is telling, so I cannot see what's happening in front of me. So the essence pace is when you are fully present right now. And you want to practice what this pace feels like. I will link in the description below, I will link to Katie Hendricks' exercise. She has an exercise on her website. It's a very short video, just 3 minutes. Watch it, follow along with it. It's basically just trying to figure out what your essence pace is, and then, practicing this. Now, what's very important is your essence pace is not one fixed pace. So it's not something you do once and then you clock it in, and then that's your essence pace forever. So it's not like your personal essence pace is 3 kilometers an hour. It doesn't work like that. The essence pace is the right pace for you in the moment, which means that on some days it can be a lot faster, on other days it will be slow. Sometimes the essence pace is a crawl. For example, when you are resting, it can be super slow. So the essence pace is just whatever is the right pace for you in the moment. And when you do Katie's exercises, do them a few times. So what you are practicing is not finding this one pace, but what you are practicing is how to find it in the moment. So you practice the technique, so you can use it anytime during the day. So you can come back to your essence pace again and again and again. Anytime you feel hectic, anytime you feel stressed out, just check in with yourself. Are you moving too fast? Are you thinking too fast? So what can you do? For the thinking, my favorite is the breath. Then putting on the brakes and the essence pace. You can use a combination of all three. You can use whatever works best for you in the moment. Practice all three so you have, the more techniques you have, the better. You have always something to fall back on. All right, there's a sort of fourth kind of hidden technique, but it's not really like the other three, because the other three are things you can actively practice. You can, for example, set the intention, today I will practice technique number 1. Every time I feel hectic, I will practice taking in one deep breath and find the way that works best for you. Through the nose, mouth, or nose, hold, mouth, nose, hold, nose, etc. Whatever works best for you, and you practice it for that day. Set the intention. Then the next day you might want to practice the second technique, then another day you might want to practice, etc., etc. So these are techniques you can deliberately set out to practice. The fourth one for me was different. I don't think I could have practiced this even if I had known what it was, but I'm sharing this in case you're different. Everybody's different. So maybe this works for you. The fourth one is actually a nervous system state change. So I explained that the essence pace is your pace at which you can be present, at which you can focus on what's in front of you instead of rushing around into the future and into the past. So another way of doing it is becoming present first. So focusing your attention on what's right in front of you. Now, full disclosure, I could not have done this even a year ago because my nervous system was in a hypervigilant state. That was my baseline, hypervigilance. So that's basically another way of saying a form of stress. If I had tried to focus on the present, this simply would not have worked. Recently, now that my nervous system is in a very different base state, much, much calmer. So now I can do this. The other day I walked to the supermarket, I noticed that I was not really present, that I was, in my virtual reality. And I just focused my attention on what's in front of me, and bam, just like that, I slowed down. It was like my body slammed into a wall. That's how fast I slowed down. I did not physically put on the brakes. My nervous system just flipped. And this is fantastic. If you can do that, go for it. If this doesn't yet work for you, then use the other 3 techniques. All right, and that's it. Enjoy your much more calmer and slower life. I'll see you in the next video.